Hey guys, so welcome to my channel and today is a Q&A with a special guest that we have here today. And we'll be answering all of your Canada related and USA related, basically study abroad related questions. So we'll be doing a live Q&A, but before that we have a curated list of questions that people really wanted to know answers to. So we'll be answering and we'll be talking about those first. And then, guys, in the chat box, you can put down all of your questions and we'll pick a few of the most common ones and answer those. So if you guys want to put down your questions in the chat box, you can start doing that. Um, so as a CEO of Jamboree Education, what do you think is the criteria for a student to choose between USA and Canada?
Look at what are the criteria based on which students are looking at finalizing an university. Okay, so followed by what reputation of the university, what the overall costs, and are they able to get some financial aid or scholarship? What are the opportunities to do research or internships? What are the ability to do uh, get a work post finishing? And then the allied things like how's the safety and the lifestyle in the place where they are going to study. So these are various issues which students are grappling with, and most importantly, job opportunities. So if I take both these countries, which is US and Canada, and I compare these parameters, both these countries and the study abroad options are extremely good. What makes the difference in terms of students' decision are some factors like for the US, the number of universities are very, very large. There are about 4,000 universities and colleges in the US. As a result of which, the options of colleges and universities and the courses is very large. What that means is the students are able to get a lot of options and flexibility to maybe look into different type of master's courses than the bachelor's courses they have done. They're pretty flexible. Okay? Whereas because of the limited number of universities and colleges which Indian students are aspiring for, the flexibility of courses, the options of choosing colleges, those are not that great. On the other hand, Canada offers a very flexible or easy stay back option after finishing a course. So if you do a 1 year program in Canada, you get a 1 year post study work permit. If you do a 2 year program, 2 year or above, you get a 3 year work permit. Right. So, and whereas in the US, if you do a STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, math, you get a 3 years OPT, which is called optional professional training. But if you do a non-STEM program, it is only 1 year. Okay. So, to that extent, Canada um, is more universal in their offering of post-study work permit as compared to the US. So that is why many students who are looking for non-STEM program, non-science, technology, engineering, math program, prefer the Canada because their ability to stay back and find work.
Right.
So that's the main difference.
Okay. So is it safe to say that US is good for the amount of options that it has, whereas Canada is good for the flexibility and the stay back options?
You may summarize like that. Yes.
So guys keep that in mind. अगर रहना है तो probably Canada is better and अगर आपको ज़्यादा options चाहिए, top universities चाहिए तो maybe US. So um so now talking about courses in detail. So what are the
Mhm.
popular courses in USA and Canada? Because I get these questions where people ask me what course should I be doing? What specific stream should I be going into? So, what are the popular courses in US as well as Canada, and what are the main deciding factors for students to choose this course?
See, I'll take the second part of your question first, which is what is the main deciding factor. I think the first and the main deciding factor is what I want to do, which is the which is the course which attracts me, which is the course I want to take as higher education. If I study a course which I don't like, however good the course may be, I'm not going to end up doing well in that or even pursuing that in my future career. Okay. So that is the first thing. Having said that, it's also determined by the opportunities which are there in the job market. Okay, so the opportunities, as we all know, because these are both economies which has a lot of engineering and technology companies. So engineering and technology is one of the most preferred courses when people want to go either in undergraduate or postgraduate studies in the US and Canada. Okay. Same goes for business and finance courses. Okay. So there are a lot of demand for business and finance courses. That doesn't mean that people who are studying humanities, they are not going off to study in these countries. They are also going. There are great universities in the US for humanities courses. Okay, so the, as a study abroad option, both these countries and US, because of the huge amount of options that are there, attracts people from across streams. But as we see Indian students, the most popular are courses in the technology and business side.
Okay. So, let's say business side, US, and then Canada would be the others.
No, 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 no. As a destination for studying technology-oriented courses, which is, let's say, masters in computer science, masters in business analytics, masters in information systems, US is the number one choice,
Okay.
followed
Okay.
by Canada, simply because of the number of universities,
Yeah.
the opportunities that are there,
Yeah.
and also US being the the home of a lot of tech
Yeah.
companies.
And
Canada also.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed this trend too. Like people who are engineers specifically or doing something related to medical usually prefer going to USA because over there, like the university really matters. Whereas for someone who is doing something like me, I'm doing advertising. So there's not like in my profession, it's not like I need to be qualified from a very, very reputed university to get a job. I would still get a job. So maybe that is the reason why people who are from other streams go to Canada. But again, this is a really complicated decision to make, and it's not that easy to decide your course or college. So, how does Jamboree help students in this?
Yeah, so just to comment on your last statement, it is not that Canada doesn't have great universities.
Hmm.
University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, these are very, very highly ranked universities. Okay, Richard Ivey Business School in the Western University, they're very, very highly ranked. So
Hmm.
they're as good as the top US universities. So it's just that the numbers are smaller. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Right.
Okay?
Got it. Yeah.
As far as Jamboree is concerned, so when a student comes to us, first we start with evaluating his or her profile. We figure out what are what is the student done in terms of academics and co-curricular and extracurricular activities. What are his or her aspirations? Which kind of courses they're looking at? What kind of budgets they have? Which countries they're looking at? So we do a thorough evaluation, and before we even start recommending, okay, our solutions. So, as I said in the opening comment, we help in two ways, helping them to crack the exams like a GRE, GMAT, SAT, IELTS, and TOEFL. Taking this GRE, GMAT, SAT certainly helps the students in boosting up their academic credentials, apart from whatever they've done in school or college. And we also help them with the English proficiency tests, which is IELTS or TOEFL. Uh, After that, what we do, we help them to once they have the score and they are ready to apply, we figure out the the top colleges where they can apply with their profile, help them to prepare their applications, their statements of purposes, the letters of recommendation, their resumes, and all of that, and help them to apply. And if there is a scholarship application which is required, we help them to prepare that also. And After they get an interview, and in some cases, if there's an interview call, we help them to prepare for the interview also. And once they are get a final admission offer, we also help them with the visa process, the visa interview, the visa processing. And that is not the we also where we stop. We also help them to secure loans. We work with all the leading financial companies of India and abroad who are into the study loans or education loans area. So we work with them to help the students get the best financial rates. And yeah, and we even work in the student accommodation space. Depending on which country they're going, we also help them to find the right accommodation. So so essentially we are an end-to-end service provider. We do everything as far as your
So,
study abroad
yeah.
journey.
So I would say like it's more like a one-stop solution to everyone's study abroad dream.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, guys, if you need any help, you can definitely reach out to them. And while you spoke about finances a little, so let me get into the hot topic, which is the
Mhm.
cost of education.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
is living and the cost of education in both these countries a game changer while selecting a country to study abroad?
Yeah, see the cost of education, which is essentially two parts. One is a tuition fee, other is the living expenses. These are the two major expenses which students incur. That becomes a very important decision making point. Okay, uh, and if I talk of US, as I have been saying, there is a since there is a huge range of universities, the range of fees are also very large. And US also has the public universities, which the in India we call them government universities, and we have the private universities. Okay,
Yeah.
so the range of fees between these two are very large. Okay, so if I give you an example, if you want to do, let's say, an undergraduation in the US, okay, which is after class 12, you go for undergraduation, your fees can be as starting from, let's say, a $35,000 a year, which is roughly about 27 to 30 lakhs Indian rupees in terms of tuition fee, to $80,000 a year, which is roughly about 65 lakhs of Indian rupees. Just the tuition fee part.
Hmm.
Okay. So the range, as you can see, from 30 lakhs to almost 65 lakhs is a large range. Okay,
Yeah.
and and most US universities are for 4 years. Okay, so you
Yeah.
have to multiply this by four.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
so
expensive.
that's expensive. But Canada, on the other hand, is the range is also large. There are also can come from about 20 lakhs a year, about 18-20 lakhs a year to 40 lakhs a year. There also the range is large, but not as large as the US. Okay. Similarly, if you take the popular courses of master's courses like Masters of Computer Science or Masters of Information Systems, Business Analytics, US may cost between the tuition fee may range of about 45 to $50,000 a year, which is about 35 to 40 lakhs a year, to about 85, 90 lakhs a year, depending on the university you're choosing, which is about again 65, 70 lakhs a year. Okay, so I mean that may be Canada will be a little cheaper, will be around maybe about 50,000 Canadian dollars, which is about 30 lakhs a year, to about 60 lakhs a year. So
Hmm.
the ranges are large, but on average, Canada is you can find more cheaper options in Canada than in the US.
Yeah.
But that's the general. It's not the universally true, but generally you can, if you want to look at it, that's the norm. The other thing is the US living costs are higher.
Hmm.
Average, you will spend about anything depending on which city you are living, 10 to 15,000 dollars a year, about $1,000 a month you should budget. Okay, so which is anywhere between 12 to 15 lakhs a year. Okay, whereas in Canada you may maybe do it a little lesser. You may go to 5 7 lakhs a year.
Mhm.
You can manage their living costs.
Yeah.
So these are two factors. But the other factor is the US universities also give are very, very open to giving financial aid or scholarships in whatever form. Financial aid can be in terms of research assistantship, where you go and work with a professor, or teaching assistantship, or you work in the university and you get something called a graduate assistantship. Okay, so that takes a part of your, it takes care of part of your expenses.
Mhm.
This so and that is, so it is, the fees in actual terms maybe look higher, but when you get a scholarship or financial aid, they may come out to be almost similar. Okay, because the US universities tend to give good scholarships, uh, and yeah. So, and there are 5 universities in the US which are called need blind. So even if you can't afford any money, but these are obviously the top universities where it is very difficult to get. So in these 5 universities, you can actually study with 100% scholarship. So there
Oh,
are
okay.
different different types of universities, and their requirements are there. Yeah.
So again, like even in terms of cost, US has a more broader scope, but Canada you can get something for cheaper. And also the cost of living over here is definitely more
Yes,
cheaper
yes,
compared to
yes. That is
USA.
definitely cheaper. That is
Yeah.
definitely cheaper.
So overall, you might be able to save some money in Canada, but there are more scholarship opportunities available in USA. So
Yes.
that brings me to my next question, which you kind of already answered about scholarships. So anything else that you would like to highlight on scholarships, and what are the kind of opportunities that students can find in USA as well as Canada, and what resources can they look for if they want to apply for scholarships?
Okay. So in general, the scholarships are based on merit of the student's profile. It is not only merit of the academic scores, okay, what they have done in school or college. It is the merit of what they have done overall. So that means if they have done well in college, or they have done a good research program, okay, published a paper, for example,
Yeah.
or they have a good GMAT, which shows them they are good students, work experience, which is relevant for the master's program they are going for. So all of these become a part of merit. It is not only academic scores. So if your profile is good, if your application is has all these elements, then you can apply for a scholarship. So it can come, as I said, it can come in various forms. It can come as an assistantship where you have to work. Either you work in teaching undergraduate students, or research, or doing a work with the in the administrative function, let's say in a library, or in any other administrative function in the college, where you get paid and they takes care part of your fees. Okay, that is one. Then there are scholarships which is offered by the universities, and also government and non-government organizations. Okay, so universities offer scholarships which are anyway given off. Let's say $10,000 a year, you is taken off from your fee. $15,000 taken off from your fee. Those are university scholarships. Then there are non-government scholarships. There are, for example, there's the Aga Khan Foundation, Reliance Foundation. These are not government, but non-government uh, foundations, both in India as well as in US and Canada, where you can apply and get a scholarship. Okay, and then there are government scholarships. The Canadian government has scholarships where you can apply for as an international student. So these are various options which are available. One needs to take guidance of the counselor, of people like our counselors in Jamboree, who are aware of the kind of scholarships where students can apply and how to apply.
Okay.
But they are available at the postgraduate level. The most of our students end up getting some kind of a scholarship. Or
So opportunities are there. It's just that you need to kind of dig them and find them, right?
yes,
Especially in masters, like post graduation, maybe not so much, but if you're doing a masters and you're good at studies, then a scholarship is definitely an option that you shouldn't miss.
Sure.
So, let's talk about a few post education career opportunities and also what stay back options do students have once they complete their education.
So as I had talked at the beginning of my our conversation, so the stay back options in Canada is very simple. If you do a 1 year course, you get a 1 year stay back option. Find a job. If you do a 2 year program or a program which is more than 2 years, you get a 3 year stay back option, in which you have to find a job and then you have to apply for a work permit or a work visa. Okay. In the US, it is a little it is a little complicated. If you do a non-STEM program, which is a non-science, technology, engineering, math program, you get a 1 year stay back option. If you do a STEM program, you can extend that 1 year by another 24 months, which is 3 years. Okay. So this program is called the OPT. You are still on F1 visa as your visa status stays as a student. You don't get a work visa, which is called the H1B visa. You only get that once you get a job and you apply for an H1B visa, and the lottery you were allotted a you get past the lottery and you get an H1 visa. That's a work visa. Okay. So the rule in both these countries. And as far as work opportunities are there, as I said, that US as we have seen a lot of technology jobs which are coming up in the US. So that's why we see a lot of people going for tech related courses, which is either computer science, analytics, information systems. So that's on the rise, and then not that it's not there in Canada. We are also seeing a lot of that in Canada, as well as the business and finance related courses. So those are the job opportunities which we currently see there.
So, can you highlight a little on the H1 B visa option? Like, what's the lottery system, and is it easy to get a stay back option in USA?
No, stay back option is easy. As I said, stay back option you will get as if you do a if you do a undergraduate or a postgraduate program from the US university, you will get a 1 year or 3 year depending on the kind of course you have done. Okay. As far as H1B, the total number of H1B visas the US government gives every year is 85,000. Okay.
Okay,
in
right.
this in that 65,000 is open. That means it's a student is also applying, as well as somebody who's an IT professional working for a company like Infosys or Wipro. They are also applying. Okay, so that is 65,000, and that is 65,000 not for India, across the world. Okay, so that
That,
everybody
yeah.
everybody across the world is applying for those 65,000
Hmm.
H1B visas. Okay, after that after that lottery is done, there's another lottery done for the rest 20,000, where people who have studied in the US, okay, has done a higher education in the US, they are only eligible to apply. Okay, so as an international student, you get two chances to apply, and in for H1B. So since they want more students to come to the US to study for their higher education, they have done this two-tier thing.
Okay. Um, so this process looks a little complicated, and
Yes,
in Canada it is much more straightforward.
yes,
Um,
yes,
you study for 2 years, you get a 3 years work experience,
yes,
you go through the draw, the CRS draw, you get a good enough score, and you qualify for your PR. So
absolutely,
payback is much easier in Canada. If that is
absolutely.
your main goal, then probably Canada is your option.
That is why also we are seeing a lot of students who have applying to Canada over the last few years. The
Mhm.
numbers have really grown.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah. So, good to know about that. And now we're gonna move on to the live Q&A.
Okay,
And we'll be taking some questions that people have asked. So guys, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to like put down your questions, and we'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll be answering a few of your questions that are the most like popular ones. So put down your questions, and we'll be answering them.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. See if you're back live. Back. Okay, so we are back, guys, and I've received a few of your questions. So
Mhm.
we're gonna start taking those. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So the first one is, what roles do tests like GMAT, GRE, and SAT play in the admission process?
Okay. So let's look at the admission. Let's look at an admission officer who's going to look at an application from various students. Okay. If I look from an admissions officer's point of view, the admission officer is trying to assess if the student is a right fit for the program. Okay. So what the admission officer looks at, they're looking at the obviously the academic scores of the student, the kind of work they have done, whether it's a research work or it's a actual work experience, and how interested the student is to pursue this program, which the student has to write in his or her essay. How are the letters of recommendation which are he has got from his professors, or if he's been working from his superiors. So along with this, what happens is when he is looking at academic criteria, because he's looking at students from across the world, it's not only they are looking from students in India, they're looking from students from China, from let's say Vietnam, from Saudi Arabia, from South America, and even within India, they're looking at students from various universities. They're looking from all the top universities in India. So how does this person sitting in the US or Canada know that your academic credentials, if you are saying 90% or 95%, is as good as the 90 or 95% in if for a student who's from China or who's from Vietnam. Okay? So there is requirement for a standardized test. A standardized test which is the same test for students across the world. Okay? And in this case, it is the GRE or the GMAT or the SAT, which is a standard test which is taken. And once you get a score, let's say you get a 700 on a GMAT, or you get a 320 on a GRE, or you get a 1450 on an SAT, they know the level of the student is equal to somebody who scored the same mark from any other country, from any other university or board. Okay? So that is the utility of this test. And since you can write the GRE or the ACT, and you want to, let's say you want to study computer science or you want to study economics, the subjects which you have studied in school and college may be different, but English and math are going to be same. So that's why they check only English and math.
So it is kind of to like generalize the whole process and make it like so that they can compare between different countries and institutes.
Yes, and that becomes very important comparison.
And
That is
how
why it helps.
difficult
That's why it helps the selection.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
how difficult are these courses? How long would a person take to learn this or to like give a test?
So as I said, it is basic English and math, class 10th level English and math, not even 11th, 12th level. Okay, because they are wanting to keep people who have not studied math at a higher level. They also can take this exams. There are some concepts which maybe start in class 11th, which are there, which we teach. Okay,
Okay.
but mostly it is class 10th level math. Okay, and
So
English is English. Okay,
so it is not
so
like very complicated.
it's not at all complicated. Only thing is what we teach is the what is required. It's a very specific syllabus. So we teach what is required for this exam, and what are the tricks, tips and tricks which you need to learn to do well in the speed part. So there are two parts. One is accuracy, one is speed. Accuracy is when you know the topic. Speed is when you can use tips and tricks to do it faster. Okay. So we teach both to help speed and accuracy. Okay, and
So,
our programs, all our programs are about 60 to 65 hours classes. So which is what? Which is 3 hours classes, 20 classes. That's max. 20 to 22 classes. That's max we teach. And after that, you need to practice for about between 2 to 3 months before you give the test. So between 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you are willing to spend time, you can start to finish. You can finish.
okay, that is good to know because people always dread giving these exams and a lot of people वो masters का dream इसके लिए छोड़ देते हैं क्योंकि GMAT GRE नहीं देना है. So, good to know that it's
It's
not
nothing.
as
It's nothing.
complicated.
It's very it's basic English and math. All you require is focus for those 3 to 6 months time. That's it.
Okay, so the next question, uh, I have completed master's 16 years in 2018. Now I want to study in Toronto. Kindly suggest because of the gap is an issue. And what score should I get in which is what which one is best university or college. So let me summarize this question. And this question a lot of people have, which is based on gap year. So do gap years affect your ability and eligibility to do a master's in be it USA or Canada?
USA is more flexible in that way. That simply because, as I have been saying, the number of options are much larger. Canada number of options are limited, and more people are opting for Canada. Hence, it becomes a little difficult. But if you can justify what have you done in that gap year, okay, and how have you utilized your time, there can be an application which justifies that, and you can go ahead with that. There is nothing which is a showstopper. Okay? Many people have gap years, and unlike India, many people in US or Canada take gap years to explore themselves. So it's nothing which is something which is bad in their eyes. You need to only say how you have utilized that time.
So guys, like if you have a gap year, don't be worried. You can still study. It's not the end of your study abroad dream. Just look for options which are more accepting to your break, right? Um, so that was one question, and then um, so this is a little not really technical, but someone mentioned that a lot of scary cases are taking place these days where innocent students are being killed. I have applied for my visa and awaiting the result, and now I'm really scared. Don't know what to do. So, anything you would like to comment on that? Because we have been noticing that these cases are rising where students don't feel safe anymore in these countries. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I know. I think there was a recent case also. This is really concerning and scary. But one needs to keep in mind that these are some of the safest countries in the world, okay, with good law and order systems. Unlike what we have seen, let's say, what's happening in the Ukraine, which is completely out of our control. But here, nothing like that is going to happen. Obviously, there are stray cases, and those can happen. I'm sure some of these happen in India also. Okay. So it is unfortunate, and but that is how the human society behaves. It is not nothing to do with the country as such. It is how we as human beings are behaving. Okay. So always good to uh, be cautious, be take precaution, and but beyond that, I don't think you can do anything anywhere, even in India.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, it's really unfortunate the things that are happening, but it can happen anywhere, can happen to anyone. So the only thing is that we as Indians, when we come to a new country, we should have a community to support each other, and that's the only thing that we can do at this point. So
And
my
also,
last
this number of cases they get reported. I'm sure number of cases are also very small. So my response to this person who is scared, yeah, they're justified to be scared, but let that not deter you for pursuing your dream. It's not that scary also.
No, I agree. So I'm gonna ask the last question for the day. Um, Kindly also suggest best pathway of study leading to PR in Canada. I've heard that diploma holders do not get priority. So, I know like um our main discussion topic is masters in USA and Canada, but for other people who want to do a diploma in Canada, I would also like to highlight that if you cannot do a master's, if you're say not eligible because master's does require 6 education in US as well as Canada. If you're not eligible for that, a PG diploma, a PG certificate is also an option. And guys, they too get PR. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think that only masters is your only way to go. You can always go for a it's cheaper. It's much cheaper than a master's, and it has the same priority if in terms of PR. Um, it's only that masters might hold a higher education qualification because it is a degree. That's the only difference. So it's not like you have to do a master's if you're coming here.
Yeah, there are enough and more people who are getting PR with PG diplomas.
Yeah, we have so many of them.
Yeah.
So I would like to conclude the live with that question. And would you have anything else to highlight? Any tips, any advices for the students who are aspiring to study abroad?
Yeah, I have only one. It's not a tip. It's just a suggestion based on experience. Is whatever you do, whatever you're planning, it's better to start early rather than late. So plan and start early. It's always good to have time in your hand because these things, whether you're taking a GRE or a GMAT, and the good thing about GRE, GMAT, SAT are these that these exams are valid. The scores are valid for 5 years. So even if you're in first year in college and you take, your score will be valid for next 5 years, and you can focus on other things in life, your application, your all other academics or other co-curricular activities.
Mhm.
So start early, plan early, because the most common mistake we students do is plan start late, and when it comes to time of application they are always rushed. In this rush they make mistakes, and that those mistakes can become costly, and the earlier you apply the better your chance of getting scholarships or financial aid, because those are limited. So start early to get not only make error-free applications and good applications. Your quality improves if you have time, but also improve your chance of getting financial aid.
I definitely agree with you. Planning ahead is the key to studying abroad because these processes take so long. A lot of times there's nothing in your hand. You have to just wait back and just wait for them to respond, wait for them to make a decision on your application. So just start early so that you can aim for the intake that you want to go to and you won't have to like defer your intake because your processes didn't get completed.
Correct.
So, yeah. So, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for answering so many of our study abroad related questions. And guys, if you have any more questions, then this stream is going to be up on my channel. So, you can drop them down in the section. And if you have more personalized questions, then you should surely reach out to Jamboree Education and they will be able to help you out in more detail. Um, and that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you.